New York's classic rock, Q1043.
Good morning, and I have the perfect Mother's Day activity for you and your mom, and it's going to make you so jealous that you did not think of doing this for your mom. I am speaking with Sian-Pierre Regis, who is the director of the documentary Duty Free, which is basically a love letter to his mom, Rebecca, and both of them are with us this morning. Just a little bit of a background. Rebecca came here from Britain, settled in Boston, and she was a housekeeper in a hotel. She was actually in management, housekeeper in Boston. And at 75, she lost her job. Now, you know what it's like looking for a job when you're 75 years old. And we're talking about an everyday woman who did not have money for retirement. Her other son has a mental illness. She had been taking care of him financially. Sian-Pierre comes through. Listen to this, the best son on earth. She's depressed. She's upset. She can't get a job. Sian-Pierre, who has worked on CNN, MTV, and more, decided to gift his mom with a bucket list. Mom, you think of what's on that list? What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish the rest of your life? And then for the next 3 years, he put his life on hold and made all these things come true. And we're not talking mostly elaborate, extraordinary, expensive things. Some things as simple as baking a cake with the grandchild. So first of all, welcome Rebecca and Sian-Pierre. This is just such a wonderful feel-good movie that you can see on VOD as well as in local theaters. Welcome. My God, your stories.
Thank you so much for having me. You made it sound so wonderful.
I know,
It was an amazing adventure.
But he is wonderful.
He is wonderful. Sian, how did you come up with this idea for the bucket list for your mom?
Yeah, so when we were raised in Boston. My mom was fired from the same hotel above which I grew up, and so I knew that when she was fired that she lost almost everything. My mom's life was her work in a lot of ways. And so I immediately thought, like, what can I do? Like, I need to pull my mom from this haze that she's in, where she felt like she had no value, where she felt invisible. And she had been 75 at the time. And I thought, well, this is a big birthday. And so I thought, you know what, let me go big. Like, I need to pull my mom away from her misery. And so I can't even tell you where the idea came from. It just came into my mind as if it was like universally gifted. And I thought, screw it, let's make a bucket list. And I presented it to her, and the story goes from there.
Rebecca, tell us what was on your bucket list.
On my bucket list mostly was to do with, I let my work define me. I gave everything up. I never took time to go. I worked holidays and weekends. I was never with the family on those, special events. All the things people told me they did when they came to the hotel. Hello, Mrs. Jones, what are you doing? What are you doing this? Well, we're taking the family. We're going to go milking a cow. And, then the marathon runners come in every year religiously. And I said, I have to feel the joy of those marathon runners because I never see them smiling, but they come back for punishment every year. So I put down, let me walk the marathon. I know I can walk it. I knew I couldn't run it, but I knew I could walk it. And then there was my daughter I hadn't seen for 10 years. And my granddaughter I hadn't seen since she was a baby. So I want to spend time like my mother spent with me, my granddaughter, bake a cake with Layla. It may take hours to get there and hours to get back, but I have to go to England and do that. And then it's good luck, you're in London, throw a penny from the London Bridge. And that's how it came about. Skydiving was the last thing on my list because I had to try it. Everybody done it when they were old, usually when they did it.
I can't believe you did that. I cannot believe you did that, Rebecca. Skydiving. And you were older than 75 when you went skydiving, right?
7, I think.
Yeah, it was one of
That's
the
insane.
best scenes in the movie. I mean, watching her slowly, just jump from this plane. It's beautiful in Hawaii. And, we were worried. I mean, everybody was scared, right? Like, this was our last adventure. It had to go off without, a hitch for a lot of reasons. And when she landed safely, nothing made me feel better. And now watching watching the moment back, it's like incredible.
Rebecca, what was going through your mind when you were skydiving?
Well, let's just back up a second. Before I went up on the sky, the guy who's on my back, he was the owner of the company, and he's an aerialist. And I said, sir, I know you're an aerialist, but I just want to make this clear. I'm for the straight down method. He said, Rebecca, you didn't like anybody telling me how to do your job, did you? I said, no. He said, I don't like anybody telling me how to do now. We're off. Off did we go up and down and round and up my hair like a bun in the wind. And all that was going through my mind was that paper had signed. Please be aware we are not responsible for any accidents causing, which may include death. Sign my name out, Danigelis. The greatest feeling was when I landed on my 2 feet and he was there running towards me.
Would you do it again, Rebecca?
Ask me no. I'm not saying don't do it. I don't want to do any harm to the tourist industry, but it's not for me. Sorry. I would be 90 the next time I meet you in a couple of weeks.
Well, President Bush did that at 90 to celebrate his 90th birthday. He jumped out of a plane. I am speaking this morning to Sian-Pierre Regis. He is the director of the documentary Duty Free, which, by the way, was a top grosser at the 2020 Doc NYC Festival. And the movie is really a love letter to his mom, Rebecca, who lost her job at 75. She was a housekeeper at a Boston hotel, and she was at a loss. What does she do? She's about to lose her apartment. She's lost everything. And Sian-Pierre tells her to come up with a bucket list. In the next 3 years, they spend together, basically. It's a real gift to his mom. I want you to tell us, Rebecca and Sian-Pierre, what you got out of this experience, how this all changed your lives. First, Rebecca.
I would just simply say, family is everything. I was foolish enough to give up all my time because I wanted, the work defined me. It had to be the best. People were coming. Everything had to be ready, blah, blah, blah. And then, we're having now I can't go on, we've got this group coming in on this day. Family is everything. Do not let people take advantage of your family time. That's what
And for me, I think that what this experience has done, it allowed me to see my mom as a human being. And I think that's the greatest gift that I could have been given. So many of us go through life, seeing our moms as moms, and maybe they're annoying and maybe they're badgering and all of this, but I got to ask my mom every single question I could ever have asked her. And it's a moment that will live with me forever. I have no questions about her and her past and who she is and who made her who she is. I have a really deep sense of who my mom is. And I'm so grateful to have had the experience over the last few years to really discover that. And that really comes out in the film. And I think what people really love most about this film is how genuine and how authentic and how special and how complicated my mom is. And it's really a tribute, not only to her, but I think to making moms everywhere more visible.
My husband once said to me, everybody has a story. Everybody on earth has a story, but how many of us know the stories of those really closest to us?
That's right.
I really was taken with you, Rebecca. You felt the same way about your job, the way I feel about my job, which is no matter what you're doing, you just want to be the best at it. That's it. You just want to be the best at it. Did you feel the same way about being a mom?
I think so, yes. Same thing, everything organized, everything just for them.
But you made a really difficult decision early on, and
Yeah.
painful still, I imagine, when it came to your daughter. Explain what happened.
What happened was I had been divorced from my husband, and Joanne was probably like 3 years of age. I developed lumps, and I had to go, and I was in America, and I was alone. I was 67 pounds. I was very ill, and I needed someone to take care of my daughter while I got treatment and everything. My sister came from England, and she took Joanne back with her. And she went to a good school. She had a good education. She had the best living, really, an enviable living for a young girl. And we talked every week. But what I didn't know, and this comes out in the movie, is I didn't see her for all these years. She did come back one time. She went to live with her father. She stayed 3 weeks. Said, I don't want to stay. But apparently, it comes out as he interviewed her in the movie, which I wasn't at the interview, is how upset she was that she thought I'd abandoned her and everything. So all of that thing, that was a new story for me. I couldn't change history. I could only shape the future. And the future now is that she talks to me almost every day, and Layla, and it worked out. Probably getting 5 was the best thing.
But Rebecca, you're very brave, because I think anyone else under the circumstances, or most people, would say to Sian-Pierre, I'm sorry, you got to take that out of the movie. I don't want people looking at this painful part of my life, and just the realization that you had, that
Yes.
you thought you were doing the right thing, and your daughter just wanted you. But that is such bravery, to allow us to see Rebecca, warts and all, which makes this movie even more remarkable, because it's not sugar-coated. It's the real deal. We all have regrets in life. We all have done something we regret, but you embrace that. And that must have been a little freeing in a way, Rebecca.
Oh, yes. We can talk now very freely about stuff. And I feel I've done the best I can to mend my broken past. And I'm happy now. And she's happy now, I think. That's the main thing, is that she is happy.
I was in a, as part of when you're a filmmaker, oftentimes you go into these sort of labs and people watch your films and give you feedback, other filmmakers. And somebody had said at one of the screenings, like, wow, you may want to take that part out, because your mom, that's your mom's flaw, what she did. And somebody else piped up and said, that's not a flaw. That's like what makes us human. That complexity is what makes us human. And so, when we talk about that moment in the film, which everybody talks about because it is so powerful and so deep, we try and pull that out, that we all have regrets. We all make decisions that we feel are the best in the moment. And it's only with perspective that it's sort of, we better understand who we are and why we make those decisions.
Like I said, this is the perfect Mother's Day gift. The documentary, Duty Free, you can see it VOD. You can also see it in select theaters. Thank you so much, Sian-Pierre, Regis, and Rebecca. Bless you both. And when we come back, we're going to meet another mom who turned definitely the worst moment of her life, losing her son to an overdose, into such a beautiful, beautiful thing, helping mentally ill teens and teens who are at risk of suicide. And we'll meet her and her partner next. Q104.3.
New York's classic rock, Q104.3.